Hey, good morning, YouTube. It is 4:44 in the a.m. Eastern Time. I am currently in, where am I at? I am, damn, what town am I in? Bloomington? No. Had to stop the video to look at the map, find out where I was. I'm at a TA truck stop in Seymour, Indiana. Today's Thursday morning. I gotta take this load. It's been like a heck, like the past 24 hours has been kind of rough. I got back to work Tuesday morning on the 2nd, day after New Year's. Now the holidays are over with. It's time to get back on the grind for a little bit. I stayed in Indianapolis for New Year's, and then I left out of there Tuesday morning, and I took down a load to Van Buren, Ohio, to Home Depot. Dropped that load off. Then went down into Columbus at Obet's, pick up a relay that was going to Bloomington, Indiana. But this was in the afternoon when I got it, and it was I read the appointment information wrong. I thought the window was a 10 p.m. closure, but actually it was a 10 p.m. appointment time for this place. We'll talk more about that in a second. But as I picked up this trailer during my pre-trip, I noticed there was some tires need to be repaired, and I'm at the OC, so I went ahead and had the shop replace those tires. I went in there to the advisor and asked if they agreed with my assessment that they needed to be replaced. So it's not like I went in there and said, "Hey, change these tires," So he agreed with me, said yes, those tires need to be replaced. So I went into the bay, and I was in there for about an hour and a half. But while after I pulled in, I called the office and said, "Hey, I'm gonna be in this maintenance for a couple hours, and I'm probably not going to make delivery tonight. So go ahead and get it pushed back to the morning." Dude to talk to said, "No problem." So I wound up making it about 60 miles from the location that day, and I stopped. And then the next morning, yesterday morning, I went the rest of the way, and I get there. First of all, the location my GPS told me to go is not even the location where you check in. It's like 3 blocks away where you had to actually check in. Because once you pull into this lot or pull into this drive, you're at a fence, and it's got a big sign that says check-ins at this other location. I'm like, well, shit. But then there's a big sign right beside of that sign saying receiving hours from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. It's like, okay. But it says call this number if you have any questions. So, yes, I called that number. And, yeah, they don't do any receiving during the daytime. So I was like, okay, well, this ain't very good. But then I looked at the assignment again, and it did say the appointment time was at 10 p.m., 2200. If I would have realized that initially, I would have called and said, listen, I'm not a night driver, so this ain't going to work for me. But I didn't notice it. It was my fault for not looking at it more closely, that part. So I'm taking responsibility for that. So anyhow, I called my TL. I finally get a hold of my TL instead of just some random person answering the phone. And he's like, he didn't even hear about the situation the day before. I said, well, I called, buddy. There's records of it. So, of course, it's a frustrating thing for both of us. But I already had 2 assignments on me to go after. This is supposed to be a live unload. I already had 2 additional assignments on me to continue working. So we had to wind up taking that trailer, that load, and dropping it off in Indy as a relay. So I picked up a relay in Columbus and ultimately dropped it off in Indy as a relay. So pick up a relay to drop a relay. Sometimes the planners are they don't pay attention. They're just stupid. So anyhow, after that, I had to drop that relay in Indy, pick up an empty, and take this empty to a PepsiCo in Indianapolis, which is about 35 miles in the opposite direction of where I needed to go for my next load. And all I had to do was drop it empty and continue to Walmart which is where I'm at, which is where I picked up this load at now, deadhead, so, or a bobtail. So I'm like, I was thinking, it took an hour from me. I'm already past time anyway. So, doing that, I get down here to Walmart here in Seymour, Indiana, and I pick up a load of pallets. And as I'm doing the pre-trip of the trailer doesn't have it doesn't have a landing gear handle. Well, how the hell does someone not report a landing gear handle not on the trailer? So, and I was supposed to have, initially this load was supposed to be to go to Bowling Green, Kentucky for a 6 p.m. yesterday live unload. But since the earlier delays in the day, I was like, I was pushing. I was like, dude, it looks like this close. So what happens if I don't get there at 1800? He replied back about a little bit later saying that it's been pushed back to 2000, so 8 p.m. I'm like, all right, cool, that'll work. But then I get this handle problem at the pickup, so I have to call him and let him know that 8 o'clock probably not going to happen. He's like, I was like, I haven't called SCM yet. I wanted to let you know first so you can work on load times. He said, okay, I'll go ahead and work on this. You contact SCM and let me know what happens. So I contact SCM. SCM is Schneider Emergency Maintenance, and tell them this place will have a handle. He's like, okay, let me call around, see if I can find somebody that has a handle in stock so they can come out there and get it fixed for you. By the time I find something out from SCM, it's like right at 5 o'clock, and the office closes at 5, so I couldn't give him a call back to let him know anything. So there's a TA about less than a mile from here in Seymour, less than a mile from the Walmart DC. But this guy from the TA, he calls me back, says, "The TA is going to bring one over to you. They should be there about 45 minutes to an hour." I'm like, okay. It seems so close. Why so long? But they're probably busy. I get it. So anyway, about an hour later, the guy shows up. He has a handle. Not exactly the one that is supposed to be there. But you know what? I don't care. It worked. He hooked it on there, and I'm able to crank the landing gear. So, and at this point, it's like 6 o'clock. Well, first I have to come over to TA to get scaled. But as I get scaled, I realize it's like 10 minutes to 6. It's a 3-hour drive to get down to Bowling Green for my 8 o'clock appointment. There's no way I'm going to make it anyway. So I go ahead and park, and I've still yet to have an update on my time for the delivery. I mean, I do see a notification on my tablet, a little symbol saying, hey, you got a message. That's probably just the overnight update message, but maybe they have already changed it. I don't know. So I plan on leaving here shortly, going down to Bowling Green to get this trailer unloaded of pallets. It's a live unload. Hopefully they'll get me and they can work me in rather easily, because I have to go about 15 miles away to Auburn, Kentucky to pick up a Chewy load. And I hate Chewy loads because they're so damn heavy. Chewy, you know, the pet food, Chewy.com, the pet treats and food people. Heavy loads, always heavy loads. But that load's going down to Dallas, and it's supposed to be Dallas, today's Thursday, tomorrow about 1 p.m. It's like 800 and some miles away. I'm probably going to have that pushed back for a delivery pushed back. And I've been to Chewy before. And the problem with Chewy is, if you're not on time, they want to reject you. Which I find, schedule's a schedule. And I even think, I think that's a live unload as well. So if it was a drop and hook, it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. Because the last time I went through there, before I went on vacation there at one point, earlier in the year, I was a day behind on their paperwork, but my paperwork said I wasn't. And they was trying to refuse me. I'm like, listen, I know it's Friday and everybody wants to fucking get off. It's just drop and hook. Let me drop this damn trailer. Otherwise, I'm just going to drop it on my own. I got pissed at him. I was like, listen, this is my last day before vacation. Take this damn trailer. I'm not hunting around with it. So ultimately, they let me go ahead and drop it. But we gotta delays. It's part of trucking, right? Shit happens. But the good news about this whole thing is I'm getting out of the north, because this weekend there's a big storm coming through from what I've seen on my weather app. I just want to get out of the north. It's been cold. 20s at night, been freezing. I've ran through a little bit of snow flurries and shit like that, but I just want to stay in the south, man. But other than that, I got big news. Nothing's 100% finalized yet, but I have started the process of getting my truck. I've got to wait till the 17th because there's something on the... Okay, you've heard me bitch about the CPAP crap before. And I've had 3 violations of CPAP in 2023. And you've heard me bitch about it. I just disagree with it. So after the third violation, they put me on a 90-day compliance plan. So, and that 90 days isn't up until the 17th of January. So until that point, we can't move forward on the owner-op side. So at that point, though, I think that's the only thing slow. I think that's all there's going to be to slow me down. I've already been approved for my truck through SFI. I've got the money for SFI. I just got to wait for the Schneider side to clear me out, and then I'm shooting for February 1st, February first Monday of February, whatever day that may be, the 3rd or something, 2nd or 3rd, 4th, to start my orientation. Like I said, we don't know the exact dates yet. We don't know, nothing's finalized 100% yet, but yeah, so in the next 3 or 4 weeks is what I'm thinking I'll be in my truck. So I've already got my Country Transports LLC. Here's my logo I made up. I've already got the business license. I got my EIN number. I'm ready to go. I'm just ready. I'm ready. Some of you are going to say, hey, it's a bad idea, SFI, blah, 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 blah. You know what, listen. If you go buy a truck from a dealership, which I don't have that option right now, my credit's not good enough, I don't have a big down payment. I don't have that money like that yet. Maybe in a year. We'll see. But you gotta look at these numbers. If I would go buy a truck from a dealership, I put 30 grand down. It's what, a 6-year deal? Paying $3,000 a month. Yeah, that's cheaper than $4,400 a month. But you also got to look at when you're dealing through the lease purchase, or lease to buy, however you want to look at it, or just leasing. It's through SFI. It's condensed into 3 years. That's why it's $1,100 a week. But at the end of those 3 years, through SFI, you're paying like $220. If you go through a dealer for the truck, you're paying like $189 tag, but not mentioning the interest rates through whoever financed you. So, yes, it would be cheaper to go through a bank to get financed to get my own truck that way for a longer period of time. But SFIs, like I said, they're condensed into 3 years. That's why the numbers are higher. And of course, that weekly payment would be rough. If I want to take a week off, I'm going to have to pay out of pocket, or at least work 1 load or 2 loads or whatever, a day or 2 just to cover that week's rent, so to speak. But, it is what it is. Right now, I feel this is the best way for me to get in the door into the IC side, the owner-op side, and start running myself, learning the boards, running my routes, and just seeing how it works. I can't see. I mean, I've done this for years as in my other job when I was a taxi driver. We had a thing called the wall on our tablet. All the active loads were listed on that wall. Take what you wanted. That's all a load board is a wall. Granted, instead of going across towns and cities, I'm going across the country. It's a slightly bigger scale than what the taxi business is, but it's the same principle. Same damn thing I've done for 25 years. Just a bigger scale. And if you think about it, not really a bigger scale per much. Because my lease every day for my taxi was $120 a day. $840 a week. Okay? Think about that. $120 a day, which is $840 a week. Plus my fuel. So a truck payment of $1,100 a week. Maintenance of $150. Insurance about $250, so $1,400 a week expenses just for the legal stuff. Like I said, it's a bigger scale, but it's not that much more. Plus fuel, it's not that much more. Like I said, I've done it for a long time, so I understand what I got to do it. I just got to make sure I do it. So, anyhow, cat's out of the bag. I'll keep you posted, and we'll see how it all works out. But I hope everybody had a great holiday. Holidays are over with. It's time to get back to work. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for support. Y'all have a great day.